in the handing over of the master list at the time, was phase one already identified at the top, or was the identification of the properties that would be what the reform phase one come after the master list had already been handed over to you?
No, the master list contained everything.
Okay.
But it wasn't broken down into phases.
At the time.
It just listed all the assets, and also listed some assets that were not even to be sold. But it identified those assets as such.
All right, please go explain to the committee the first step stated.
Okay, so just quickly, I just want to say that for phase 2 and 3, in terms of the valuation, we established the guide prices by adopting revised valuation of these properties. And this was conducted by Francis Jones Associates with support from representatives of the Lands Office and the Sheriff's Office. That prepared the initial valuations at the initiation of the Commission of Inquiry into the financial activities of the former president. So we did valuation, subsequent valuation for phases 2 and 3. So I just want to mention it here so that I don't need to go through it again when I talk about phase 2. So we also had a website where we advertise these properties. Apart from the website, we also advertise in the local papers. Basically, it was The Point, Standard, and Foraya. Phase 1, the advertisement was 1st of September, and the deadline was 18th of September, 2019. As I said earlier, to attract wider audience, and especially to attract the international investors and the diaspora, we also advertise. We had a website called trustee.gm, www.trustee.gm, and these properties, the pictures, etc., were uploaded on that site. Now, bid forms were also available at the reception for potential buyers. The reception of Picholek building, that's where we directed potential bidders to collect. For bids received in hard copy, I mean, details of the bidders were collected: name, address, contact number, and email address. The emails were signed to confirm their seal status, collected and kept in a secure safe. Now, opening and evaluation of bids. This coincides with the respective closing dates. Advertised in the spirit of transparency, the trustee teams proceed to the AG's office with the sealed bids, and evaluation processes are usually chaired by the Solicitor General. Firstly, the SG would inspect the bid envelope to confirm that they are intact. The electronic bids are also viewed using the password submitted at the time that the bids are being opened. The SG opens the bids, announces the respective bid amounts to the team, which are duly collated and ranked to determine the highest bidder. A brief report of the results is immediately shared with the SG via email. This is usually followed by a detailed report the next business day. The respective winners were called on the same day, informing them of their success. This is followed by a formal offer letter on the following working day. The offer letter details out the property, amount, and a 7-day deadline and designated account at EcoBank Gambia that the payment should be made. Inflows into the account are monitored and receipts are issued to the respective buyers upon completion of total payment. And legal documentation, we engage legal counsel to prepare deeds of conveyance for all sold properties. This was duly executed by the buyers and the Solicitor General. The registration process is ongoing, albeit with challenges. So I did talk about eviction the other day. So do you want me to go through the, for phase one, there were, I believe, 15 properties,
Yeah.
and the total amount was 94,750,000. That is phase one. Do you want me to proceed to phase two?
No, no, no. We would. It's going to be a little tedious. We will go through each property and the buyers, how much they paid. But before we go further into the properties that formed phase one, we know they were 15 in number and they generated an income of $94,750,000. Has this amount been paid in full now?
Phase one, yes. There's nothing outstanding.
There's nothing outstanding. Okay, great. You mentioned you explained the process of sale. It was advertised in the newspapers and also advertised on the receiver's website that was created to provide visibility for the whole sale process. And bids were being submitted, at least the hard copies of bids were being submitted at Future Life.
Yes.
Did you also receive bids through the digital?
Yes.
Did you call it
online? Trustee.gm.
Yeah, but with the shares, or was it the shares at Gam Petroleum? You had it said there's a digital room, virtual room.
Yeah.
What did the sale of land process also follow the same method?
No.
For people that would submit their bids online?
No. So what we did for online submissions. So if you go to trustee.gm, you will see the particular property that you are interested in and the details. And there is always a bid form. There was a bid form.
That can be downloaded.
That can be downloaded.
Okay.
So what we tell you is download it, put in the amount, put in the details, but always password protected.
Okay.
So that nobody can open it. And you give us the password at the day of the opening, at the time of the opening, when we are with the Solicitor General. So that's how we protected the confidentiality of bids that we are done online.
Okay. And then when you finally arranged the meeting at the Ministry of Justice, the Solicitor General will also be the one to open the bid, or would be present?
He will be present and he would confirm that all the envelopes are sealed.
Sealed,
yeah.
And then they'll be opened there.
Yes.
But unlike the procedure followed with Gam Petroleum, the bidders are not invited to the meeting.
No.
Okay. Yeah. Why was this the case?
One, it's the amount.
Okay.
Really, and also.
By amount, you mean the sale price?
The sale price. I mean, if you look at the estimated, I mean, compared to Gam Petroleum, they are significantly lower. But also, you need to avoid instances like this. You have some bidders that are very sophisticated. So you can have a bidder that would have multiple bids. And if you invite them and they realize that their team are first and second in the bidding, you'll see the first one dropping off and not paying, and then the second one stepping back. So that's one of the drawbacks. What the issue is really to be transparent, and I believe that with the presence of the Solicitor General and his staff, I believe there was adequate transparency.
Very well. So Now, let's go back to the day that the bids were being opened. When phase one was advertised, all the properties were advertised at once.
Yes.
For phase one.
Uploaded
and
on
also
the website,
uploaded on the website.
and then the list is given to the newspapers.
Okay.
But they will advertise on different dates, on different days, so that the week is covered by different papers. By the advertisement is covered throughout the week by one paper or the other.
Okay. And for the properties in phase one, they're all located in Banjul, correct?
Yes.
They're all located in Banjul, and the valuation was not done by the receiver for these properties.
Yeah, we use the evaluation that was done
by the commission.
Yes.
Okay. Let's now sorry, before we just get into the first property that is listed as part of phase one. During the sale of the properties in Banjul, did the receiver make use of the support or engage the services of any individual or companies or businesses to take part in aiding the receiver to conduct the sale in Banjul for phase one?
For phase one, no, it was only the public officials.
Okay. From which department? The sheriff?
Yeah, the sheriff and the Minister of Justice.
Okay.
To identify the assets.
Okay.
Yeah.
So
and also if there were squatters for eviction,
then the police would come in.
Yeah.
Okay. And for the squatters, after the visits and after the identification visits for these properties, the squatters were given notice to vacate immediately.
Yes, they were given notice to vacate
immediately, and so they all vacated these premises.
Yes, some of them immediately, but others took time for them to vacate. But eventually, we were able to get access. The opposition.
Did this cause a delay in the sale?
At some point, yes. If you look at later phases.
Yeah, but
Banjul was not.
Okay, Banjul was not as difficult.
No.
Okay. Let's take a look at the first property in Banjul, number 78A, Hagan Street, Daniel Goddard Street. There was no reserve price for this one, was there?
Yes, because it was.
Actually, sorry, the commission had estimated. So it was purchased by the former president.
Yes.
For $2.5 million. Correct?
I don't have that information in front of me at the moment.
But you did have this information at the time?
Yes.
Okay. Do you want to perhaps get that information?
How much he purchased it for?
Yeah.
I guess probably maybe I need to look at the commission report.
Okay, you don't have it as a standalone document. Actually, no. There is, the commission did, so what the commission did is they included the price of, or the amount the former president bought the property for. So number 78 Daniel Goddard Street has 78A and 78B. 78A was bought for $2.5 million by the former president, and 78B was purchased for $3 million, making it a total price of $5.5 million. And then the commission valued these two properties at $17.5 million. How much was 78A Daniel Goddard Street sold for?
6 million.
For 6 million. How many bidders did you receive for 78A?
I believe we discussed it with Honorable Janneh yesterday.
Yeah.
I think it's 3.
3 bidders.
3 bidders, yeah.
If you need to make use of a document on your laptop or in your submissions, you can do that.
There were three bids, or 2 bidders. One bidder bidded online and also physically.
There are 3 bidders.
There were 2 bidders.
2 bidders. Okay, and they were
3 bids. So one bidder bidded online and also bidded physically.
Okay, so one bidder bidded twice.
Yeah.
Submitted 2 bids.
Yes.
One online and one physically. Who were the bidders?
Mahadi Toure bidded 2.9 million physically, and bidded online also 2.9 million.
Okay.
And Makhak Enterprise Consulting bidded 600,000.
Maha Enterprise bidded $600,000. Okay. And the property was eventually sold. Who was it sold to?
It was eventually sold to Ajib for 6 million.
For $6 million, 78A.
78. Yeah.
But Ajib Bank did not submit a bid.
Yes. Now, after we opened the envelopes and allocated the successful bids, the ones that we felt that the prices were significantly lower than the guide price, we did not go. So we just continued advertising it online. So people will go to the website and see properties that were available, and then they would make offers.
So for the people that submitted bids for this 78A, what did you tell them after their bids were opened, despite the amounts proposed being significantly low?
We just tell them that they were not successful, but we will not tell them that because they all would have the guide price, because we were sharing the guide prices. It was not as if it was confidential.
Okay.
So in the website, we'll put a guide price. We'll put the asset, and then we'll put a guide price.
And still for the guide price for 78A was, how much was it?
I don't have that with me.
But there was a guide price.
Yes, I believe there was a guide price. I can have a look at what we put on the website.
For this particular property, or for the properties that we sold in Banjul for phase 1, You received approval from the Ministry of Justice, correct?
Yes.
Okay. Was this a letter, or I know there are letters for,
letters.
for direction of for the sale for the phases. For all three phases. So you mentioned the ministerial task force twice, yesterday and the day before. And surprisingly, initially, the task force had recommended that this particular property, 78A, and the one next to it, 78B, should be reserved for government use. So when did the change of directions on what was to be done with this property? When did the change of direction happen? Because if you take a look at the master list the ministry gave you, you will see that in the table that has listed all the properties, the comments or the recommendations of the committee of the task force was that it should be reserved for government use. Somehow it was sold. Did you realize this at the time?
Yes.
Okay. Did you raise questions about it?
No, and that's why yesterday I was trying to distinguish between the technical task force and the ministerial subcommittee.
Mm-hmm.
So I did not get involved with what the task force would discuss with the ministerial. At the end of the day, I get involved with the conclusions of the ministerial task force, giving me authority.
Yeah.
So I wouldn't be privy as to why that change happened. So it's only the ministerial task force that can explain.
No, so I get what you're saying, but I don't think you get my question. My question is, when you received your engagement letter, we've already settled that point. You received an engagement letter. Subsequently, you received a list of properties, even though the list was not, every property listed in that report was not something that was not going to be sold.
Yeah.
Of course, and you did not sell, or you did not have the authority to sell all of that. But here you are given a master list of properties. And one of the first properties sold, if you look at the master list, it says that should not be sold, or the recommendation is, to be exact, let me read it out, reserve for the government. That is the recommendation. And you received that. And then subsequently, as you were receiving your instructions from the Ministry of Justice, you were directed to advertise this said property and sell. Ordinarily, if you were looking at two documents that are conflicting each other, wouldn't you raise questions, at least perhaps maybe with Mr. Binga or the SG at the time, or maybe even the AG, to say, yes, you've given me the authority to sell this property, but initially you had given me a list, and this is what the list says. Perhaps to just get clarity on the issue.
Okay. So what I can tell you is the AG gave me the master list and said, look, this is an initial copy, but I'm going to meet with my colleagues, okay, and changes will happen. So okay, I'm just giving you this as a heads up. Okay. Yeah.
So the AG said that.
Oh, yes, he said that. Yeah, okay, actually, he sent an email to that effect.
An email?
When he was sending the list,
the master list,
he did caution me that, look, I'm sending you heads up, but it may not be the final list that we are going to give you, because I need to consult with my colleagues, and we will give you the go-ahead of which ones we are going to sell.
All right. That's just what I needed, whether you eventually got clarity.
Yes, I mean, he said, yes, that's okay. I mean, what, so, and then eventually they will give me phase by phase.
Phase by phase.
Yes.
Okay. So the phases were not determined by you, but rather by the Ministry of Justice and their team.
Yes, they would sit and decide, okay, these are the ones, and then we will call it as phase 1, phase
Okay.
2. Yeah.
All right. And this email that you're referring to, you still have it?
Yes, I still have it.
Yes, please. Once you find it, please forward to the investigators. If you note that down, then we can move to another property.
Okay, I've noted it down.
Are you done?
Yes, ma'am, I've
Okay.
noted it down.
All right. So 78B, Daniel Goddard Street, Hagan as well, was also sold for the price of 11,500,000.
That's an error. It was sold for 5.5.
I'm talking about 78B.
Yes, it's an error.
Okay, it was not sold for 11 million.
No.
That's a very large number to be an error, isn't it?
Yeah, because 78B was one of those properties that we were asked to sell it at the price that the president paid. So when you added the 2.5 and the 3, so that's why it was offered to him at 5.5.
But this was not part of the properties that were returned to the original owner.
It was.
It was?
Yeah, and then there's documentary. We've shared the documents from you, from the task force, saying that it should be offered to him at the price that the former president paid.
Even though this was below, because you stated that in Banjul, you were relying on the guide prices of the commission that were in the commission's report. And the commission had recommended that both properties be sold at 17,500,000.
Yeah.
The president purchased this property for 3 million. So why was it sold back to the owner for 5.5?
So we added the 2.5 and the 3. That's how we reached 5.5.
The 2.5 for 78A.
78A.
But you had already sold 78A to Ajib for 6 million.
It was subsequent that it was sold to Ajib.
Which one was sold first, A or B?
It was basically sold together.
To two different people.
Yes.
So both properties.
Well, they are separate.
Yes.
Yeah.
So the two properties, if you if the two properties were sold for, sorry, the total price the two properties attracted is
11,
then 11.5 million.
11.5, yes.
Very significantly lower than what the commission had recommended.
Yeah, but you know, when you return the properties to the original owner, the guide price doesn't apply.
Council,
Yes, Honorable Chair.
can you guide us, please? You're referring to property number 78A.
Yes, and 78B. Are you looking at? I don't know what the Barry is looking at, but I'm looking at
I've seen it.
the first
Yes, I've seen it though.
appendix 1
One, yes.
of the letter.
I've seen it.
the cover letter for his submission, the first submission, volume 1.
I've seen.
Yes. So, Mr. Barry, before we move on to the other properties, now I think we can see we are done with these two properties in Haga. The total price you stated earlier for phase 1 is 94,750,000. Is that accurate? Considering you've stated that the price for 78B was not actually 11.5 million as stated in the report, but 5.5.
Yeah.
So would the total figure change?
If you allow me, let me just check.
Okay, please.
No, the 94 is correct.
Okay. The difference.
Sorry.
Okay.
No, it's. I don't think it's. It should read 88,750.
It should be
750.
Is this an error you realized today, or it's an error that?
No, we realized it much earlier.
After the submission.
After the submission, yes. Because we went through after looking at it, we looked at the correspondence between us and the buyer of. So there were several correspondence, and then we were able to get the full picture.
Okay. You know, the properties that were returned to their owners, there were 4 properties returned to their original owners before President Janneh acquired them. They were sold back to these individuals at the price he acquired these properties. Am I correct?
Yes, that was the recommendation.
Yeah. Why was this property different? 78B.
So we believe that it was the 5.5, the total amount he paid.
For the 2 properties.
For the 2 properties.
He paid 2.5 for the first one. And he paid 3 million for the second one. Now, my issue here is that the first property being obtained for 2.5 was sold for 6 million.
Yes.
Okay. And then the second property, which was obtained at the price of $3 million, it was sold for 5.5.
5.5.
If it was being returned to the original owner, shouldn't it have been returned at the $3 million price?
Yes, I mean, having the discussion now, yes, it should have been at 3 million.
Okay. All right. But then, do we say that perhaps the difference in price is because President Janneh had invested also in the property after he acquired it?
I've seen correspondence to that, but I need to look at it again. But I did see correspondence indicating that it was improved.
It was improved, of course, by him, and therefore the amount of money that was also spent on the improvement of the property would need to be recovered in the sale.
That could
and
be
perhaps
the
that is why the commission now, with the buildings that are on it, especially 78B, valued them at a total of 17.5 million. I mean, so even if they were being returned to the owners, the work done by President Janneh should have been taken into consideration.
Now, I guess it depends on which side he improved, whether it's 78A or it's 78B. So if the improvement is in 78B, the price for 78A would not be affected.
Actually, it seems that he improved both properties, both A and B. That is why after if you subtract the initial amounts he paid for both properties, it would be 5.5 million, and then perhaps the commission valued his improvements at 12.5, making it a total of 17.5 for the total amount it was being paid for. You've stated that when you first started the whole process, you had a meeting with Mr. Binga, who showed you the guide prices for the properties that are in Banjul.
Yeah, he shared
the
report.
The commission's report.
Yes,
And,
he did. Yeah.
I don't know whether you have the commission's reports open there, but you would see that both were valued for 17.5. So eventually, when the sale was conducted for these two properties and they were sold at a total price of 11.5 million, did you have to inform the Ministry of Justice about the difference in price between 17.5 that the commission had recommended and then the 11.5 it was eventually sold for?
Yes, it will be in the reports because we always report it back.
But prior to executing the sale, you wouldn't inform the ministry about the difference? Do we say there's a loss of 6.5 million?
Let me look at the correspondences again so that I can speak to it clearly.
Please.
It's actually one of the assets it's a complicated asset in the sense that one part you have to return it to the original owner, and the other part you need to sell it. Mm-hmm. So even at the sale process, we did have difficulty as to how to manage it. So let me look at the correspondences again and familiarize myself as to why the discrepancy, the big gap.
Okay. I will move on.
When we have a break.
Yes, I will move on to another property, but we would have to come back to this one. Because you can see my concern here. Let's go to property number 3, number 13 Grand Street.
Number 3.
Yes, yeah. According to the it's number 13 is number 3 is number 13 Grand Street. Your report says that it was sold for 2.6 million. The guide price was 2.5. It was sold to Fanta Ture. This property also followed the same bidding process, submission of bids at Future.
Yes.
By the way, why were bids being submitted at Future? Was that were you occupying an office at Future?
Yeah, because we are managing, it was part of the assets that we were managing.
Okay.
And also the location is very central.
So it was a good location or a good place to
receive the bids.
Okay.
Are you waiting for me?
No, I'm not. By the way, do you know when the date for the first two properties, when the sale was executed?
Which one?
78A and 78B. Do you know when they were sold? The report does not show the timeline.
What, you need the exact date?
Yeah, do you have it?
No. Unless I ask for the deed of sale or
So before we even speak more about the date, when the buyer is identified, or when these buyers were identified and they made an offer good enough for the sale to be duly executed, did you perhaps issue or prepare a sale agreement after payment is made? Because usually some practices, some companies or even individuals adopt is once there's a discussion about the sale, there's a sale agreement prepared, especially if the purchaser is not paying the amount in full. A sale agreement is signed between the parties, and then eventually, after the deeds for the transfer of the land is done, will be prepared subsequently.
Initially, no, we didn't do that.
There were no sale agreements. So
it was in subsequent transactions.
There were sale agreements.
There were sale agreements.
So do we say that perhaps the sales in phase one, there were no sale agreements?
No, I think we just got is it conveyance?
Yeah, the deed.
Yeah.
Okay. So when the bids are submitted and it's a good bid for the property to be transferred or to be sold, the purchaser is then given the account number to make the payment.
Yes.
And were installmental payments allowed?
Usually we'll tell you that you have 7 days to pay.
Okay.
Yeah. And in some cases, yes, they would pay it within 7 days.
The full amount?
The full amount.
Okay.
In certain cases, they will pay an amount and then pay subsequently. But we did allow for that.
Okay.
Because you'll find out in some of these bids, only one person would have bid,
Yes.
but they wouldn't know. So you don't want to lose that person. So we did have some.
That is, if the bid is not good enough.
If it is good enough, we would have some, and you are the only person. We do accommodate. We didn't publicize it, but yes, we did allow people to pay in installments. But you will only get title after full payment.
And usually, would you put a limitation on the number of installmental payments? Like you can pay in 2 installments, 3 installments, or it did not matter?
No, we were quite flexible.
Okay.
But of course, we didn't tell them that.
So the bids for number 13 Grand Street. How many bids did you receive?
The analysis I'm seeing here is saying as if we receive 1 bid
From?
from Maha Consulting. I'm not seeing Fantature, the eventual winner there.
Okay.
But probably I need to look at the physical returns. But in the summary, it says
It was bought by a Fantature.
a Fantature for 2.6.
And again, on Wednesday, I had asked you about the verification of buyers. And it seems like the people bidding are not the ones that actually end up buying these properties. Do we say that perhaps the bidding now, do we say that perhaps the idea of bids being submitted was not necessary if the bidders were not eventually the ones that bought these properties?
No, those were exceptions, and there were very few properties. And those were where the offer price was significantly lower than the guide price.
So now we have 3 properties where the bidders did not buy.
As I said, I need to look at the physical returns.
Okay.
Yeah.
No problem. Let's move on to number 64 Leman Street. From the report submitted, it shows that the guide price was 5 million, and then it was also sold for 5 million to Mr. Abdullah Jallo.
Number 64 Leman.
Yes.
Okay.
On the your submissions, it is listed as number 3, even though it is the 4th property, because 78A and 78B are just listed as one together. I think that was done because the addresses are very similar.
Yeah, for that one, it's because there was no bid for that property during the bidding phase. So this was direct negotiation subsequent to the bid.
Direct negotiation. What do you mean by direct negotiation?
So if, let's say, the deadline is 19th of September, and in this particular case, no bid was received. So we'll still have the property on the website. And then what will happen? Somebody will come and say, somebody will come subsequently and say, do you have any properties in Banjul? And we tell you, yes, we have 1, 2, and 3. Look at the website. And then you come and say, okay, I would want to buy this particular property. So we still, if it is not sold, we still leave it on the website, and people will come subsequently. So he offered the guide price because he would see the guide price because it's on the website, and then we accepted it.
You relied on the guide price for the commission?
Yes, we didn't do an independent valuation.
Your report shows that the guide price was 5 million. However, for the commission, it was 4.1. And it was eventually sold for 5 million.
Yes, I know that we had a problem in 64 and 73 Leman Street. Those two we had property.
The property is in Leman. Okay.
Yeah.
What was the issue in Leman?
There was an error in the sense that the picture we put on the website
was not for the property.
Yeah.
Okay.
In
For
fact,
both of them.
No, for one of them.
Okay.
In fact, it was subject to some bidders took us to court. Eventually, it was
Really?
Yeah.
Because of the pictures.
Yes, because they thought that they were bidding for that particular
Property.
property, but it was they withdrew the case afterwards.
For false advertisement. Is it?
I forgot what they took us to court for.
All right.
But, yeah.
So eventually they withdrew, the matter was withdrawn.
Yes.
How many lawsuits were filed with regard to these two properties?
Or one.
Just one person. Was this the person that eventually bought the property?
No.
Okay.
Because he offered a lower price and there
Okay.
was a highest bidder.
Okay. But they had also submitted a bid,
They
or
already
it was a
submitted.
subsequent negotiation like the first one?
No, they had already submitted. They submitted a bid.
Okay. And they were not successful.
Yes.
Was it because they were not successful, that is why the a suit was instituted against the receiver, or was it because of the mistaken pictures?
It's because that they were not successful.
How many bids were received for Leman? This number 64.
I said there was no bid. That's why we.
Okay, this one there was no bid.
Yeah. So then that's why we left it on the website. And then, as I said, people always come subsequently and say, do you have any properties in Banjul? And then we tell you, this is available.
Okay.
And then you make an offer.
And subsequently, Mr. Abdullah Jallo bought it. Then we have Dobson, number 15. I hope these, yes.
Could you please clarify with the witness? You asked him about the bidders for 64 Leman Street, and he said there's no bidder.
Yes.
Is that correct?
Yeah, at the time of
Let me confirm, please. Please clarify.
Yeah, at the time of the sale, some properties, there were no bids for some particular properties. So what would happen? We will still, when we do the evaluation for the ones that we have received, the ones that we haven't received, or the prices are lower, we will still leave it on the website, and people will have access, and then they will make offers.
Honorable Chair, I would propose that we move on to other properties. We will get back to this particular property and the issue of bidders. Mr. Barry, our records show on the issue of bidders for 64 Leman Street, our records show different from what your report shows. So we will come back. That is why the chair wants clarity. But we will come back to this. We will move on to other properties and
All right.
we can come back.
Number 64.
Yes.
Okay, I'll send a message as well. And
Yes, please do.
yeah.
Um, I was moving to Dobson before my attention was brought to this property. So let's go to Dobson. We have here the address is 15 Dobson Street. It's a property bought by Seringai. Guide price here shows $3.5 million, and it also shows that the property was eventually sold for $3,650,000. So $150,000 above the guide price.
Yes.
Was there a building on this property? Or was it an empty plot?
I really cannot say,
Okay.
but we can check the website.
All right. Please do, and let the committee know.
I think most of the properties in Banjul were bought for the land.
Where?
They were bought for the land. They wanted the land, not what was there, because these were, if there are properties there, would have been dilapidated.
Okay. All of them?
Most of them. I mean, you know, Banjul is except 78 Hagan, etc. But that's why we had pictures so that people will see what they are buying if they are not in town.
How many bids were received for Dobson?
Dobson, there were There was one from Paul Mendy
Okay.
and one from Maka Enterprise 3.1.
Okay.
There were two. I think we discussed that yesterday with Honorable Janneh. So it wasn't sold because it was lower, significantly lower. And then it was offered to Guy Enterprise subsequently at 3.5. Is it 3.5 or 3.6?
3.65.
3.65.
Yes.
Well, initially, what we received was two bids,
Okay.
but below the guide price.
From Mr. Mendy for 2.835.
Yes, and Mac Enterprise
For 3.1.
for 2 point, is it? Yeah, 3.1.
For 3.1.
Yes.
That's fine. Honorable Chair, I'm suggesting we take a 10-minute break. Just quickly, yeah, before we continue to the other properties.
Okay, that's fine.
Thank
you.
you.
Can take a 10 minutes break and proceed later. Thank you.
number 15 Dobson Street, and the result or the report shows that it was sold to Serengay for $3.65 million.
Yes.
And the reserve price was 3.5, so just 150,000 above the reserve price. We will move on to number 73A, Leman Street, OAU Boulevard, which was sold to Mamadou Korka Jallo at the price of $10.5 million. The reserve price was 7.5.
I've got additional information on 64 Leman Street.
Okay, that's the one we had to skip.
Yes, that's the one I said that there was no bidder.
Mm-hmm.
Actually, there were bidders. So the confusion was between 73 and 64. And that is was also subject of litigation, which was subsequently withdrawn.
Was the litigation? So both properties at Leman were both subject of litigation?
It was two properties.
Yes.
But both parties were, well, most of the bidders were bidding for a particular property.
Okay.
But submitting a different address.
Is this due to the error on the website?
It was the error of the receiver.
Okay. And this is why there was you had the suits filed.
Yes.
Eventually. These are two different buyers.
There were two different properties, and so let me go through it.
Let's go back to 64.
Let me go back to 64.
Yeah, so we close that one.
Yeah. So for 64,
Mm-hmm.
we received a bid from Lamin B. Gay.
Okay. For how much? How much was the bid?
8.111 million.
All right.
From Alassana Jallo, 9.5 million.
Mm-hmm.
Momodou Korka Jallo, 10 million.
Yes.
Muhammadu Mukhtar Jallo, 8.5 million.
Mm-hmm.
Nandi Kishore Rajwani, 12 million.
Mahmoudouba?
Mahmoudouba, 5.3 million.
Okay.
Faling Kunta Enterprise, no. Kalzan Enterprise, 7 million.
Mm-hmm.
Maka Enterprise, 300,000.
Okay.
Futa Enterprise, 12 million. 12.5 million. And Manex,
Is it 12.5 or just 12 million?
12.5 million.
Okay.
Futa Enterprise.
Okay.
Manex Limited, 15 million. So it was eventually sold to Manex at 15 million.
Number 64.
Yes.
Is that correct?
Is,
Take a look at your report.
yes, I've seen there's an error in that report. So whether it is 64 or 73. So I guess we would need to now look at the conveyance to know exactly which property was sold to Manex and which was sold. So eventually the other bidders, when they realized that there was an error, that the property they were bidding for was not the one that was on offer, so they withdrew their bid. So that's why one of them was not sold.
When the bidders allowed or given the opportunity to visit these properties?
Yes, they were. So as I said, it was the receiver's error in putting the picture of a particular property, but the address was wrong. So it was now between the 64 and 73.
Both properties were affected by the same issue.
Yes, because one was described as 73 and it was 73. The other was described as 63, but it was showing the picture of 73.
Okay.
So that's where the confusion really was caused by the receiver, and we took full responsibility. We took full responsibility for it.
But
even
64, number 64, it shows it was sold to Mr. Abdullahi Jallo.
Yeah, that was subsequently, because afterwards, the second property, all the bidders withdrew.
That is number 64.
Number 64.
Or number 73. Which one is it?
That I can only confirm if I look at the conveyance document, because also you can see that the price is wrong, because here the highest bidder is 15 million, and I believe he paid 15 million. But it is saying in the receiver's summary there, it is saying 10 million.
But even the 15 million that
10 point.
Manex.
Yeah, Manex.
Manex.
No, it's saying
bid. No.
Yeah, go ahead.
Because on the report, the summary report is showing that 73A Leman Street was sold to Momodu Korkajalo, and 64 Leman Street was sold to Abdullah Jallo. 73A was sold for $10.5 million, and number 64 was sold for $5 million. So now we cannot be certain.
No, so what I'm explaining now, instead of Momodu Korkajalo, it was Manex that won that bid for 15 million.
So we can say the report there's an error.
There's an error, yes. So I need to now look at the transfer, the conveyance document.
Okay.
And see exactly the address there and the price.
All right. And also, therefore, this will also affect the total.
It should affect the total.
The total price, the total income for phase one.
For phase one, yeah.
Mr. Berry, did you prepare this report after the committee wrote to you?
No, it was prepared and sent to the
ministry.
To the ministry. We should have updated
with the errors.
Yeah, we should have updated it.
But if I take a look at the report, there's a report you submitted to the Ministry of Justice. Let me just get the date.
In May.
It's initially I thought perhaps maybe it's the first or the second. When we were discussing about the properties at Hagar, 78A, 78B, I thought that would be the only error we would come across, but now it's quite a number of errors, isn't it?
Well, there were a lot of properties that we handled, but it's not an excuse. There shouldn't be any error.
Definitely.
Yeah.
There should be no excuse for these errors.
So I will go back and look at the source documents.
Because now, I was thinking today we're going to have a very smooth day, Does not look like it. It's like you want to come back to the assembly.
No, probably maybe before.
Okay.
Maybe by. Are we coming back after mosque?
Yes.
Yeah, so maybe during that time.
Okay, we would have to decide on what to do, whether we're coming back in the afternoon, because the committee also has to have its own internal meeting.
Okay.
And we need to create time for that. Okay, so we would put a question mark on this property as well.
73 and
Both
60
properties in
Council.
Leman.
and 7, yeah.
Yeah,
Would you mind to give us just a few minutes to interrogate this
definitely.
property? So, Mr. Barry, now let's take it. You are reporting that Manex Limited bought the property for 15 million. Is that correct?
That's what I want to believe. Looking at the summary as to the bidders, he was the highest bidder.
Yes.
I want to say that, yes.
Yes.
But that's why I wanted to have to be given the opportunity to look at the conveyancing document to see exactly whose name is there and what amount is there.
But your record, your record shows that you sold the property for 5 million to Abdullah Jallo.
No,
And
so
if we have that in your own report, a report that you sent to the ministry for almost 6 years now, there is no update on that report. How do we believe that this property was sold for 15 million and you only reported 5 million? And after all, you created a website where you put these pictures.
yes.
After, because still now you are still the receiver. Is that website still going on? Is it
Yes,
still functioning?
It's still functioning.
I did not see it. I searched the website, but I cannot go in.
Trustee.gm.
Yes,
Okay, try.
this property. Because that should have been part of the report, and it is not.
That's why I said to be given the opportunity to look at the conveyancing document to see exactly whose name is there and what amount is there.
Hmm?
It's working, yeah. But I don't think we will see those properties there because once they are sold, they remove them. What is available is what is left there. No, because I think we want to have people's attention to what is not sold.
Just a quick one, Mr. Barry. On 64, when you realized that there was an error, what did you do before selling it to Abdullah Jallo?
No, now it's between 64 and 73. So when the bidders realized that they were bidding for the wrong property, as a result of the receiver's error, they withdrew. So there was a property between 64 and 73 that remained unsold, that subsequently an Abdullah Jallo came and made an offer.
Yes, you understand that explanation, but Abdullah Jallo is not part of the bidders,
Yes.
the original bidders. So that's why I'm asking, when you realize that there was an error between 64 and 73, what happened later that resulted to the sales of 64 to Abdullah Jallo?
So what would have happened is we would have sold 73 to whoever, well, I believe to Manex. And then we will remove it from the website and still leave 64 on the website. And Abdullah Jallo would have seen it that it's still available and then came and offered.
But
Because
wouldn't it be right to open 64 again and allow bids to come? Because the original bid that was done is now in error, and all the people who bidded for the property withdrew.
yes, because they knew that they were now bidding for the wrong property and they were no longer interested in number 64. So we still left it on the website as open. That's what we used to do. If a property is not bought or the value that was offered is below the reserve price significantly, we leave it on the website for people to understand it's still available.
Was the website the only medium for advertisement of the sales of these properties?
No, when we do the initial bidding, it's on the website and it's on the papers. But once we open and then we sell, anything that is remaining, we leave it on the website to show that it is available.
You advertise it on the newspapers as well?
No, we don't further advertise that this is still available on the newspapers, but it's still we still leave it on the website as available.
What nature of advertisement do you do on the newspapers?
So we will give the name, the address, and then the deadline, and say that these properties are available for sale.
Do you have the records of those?
Yeah,
the newspapers?
all the advertisements are in the they should be with you.
Okay, Chair. Back to you.
All right, Council, we can proceed.
Mr. Barry, will you be able to provide the dates in which these properties were sold today?
I will try to get it.
Please do, because for the issue that happened in Leman, the dates are very important here.
Yeah.
Just a question before we move on to other properties. Now I've put a question mark on 4 properties that need clarity. I believe you've taken note of 78A and B at Hagan.
Yes.
And now 64 and 73A at Leman.
Hagan 78A and B. Yes.
And Leman 64 and 73A. Now the question I have is that the fees that the government would owe, or the receiver, or the fees that we agreed upon with the government, is dependent on the sale price.
Yes.
But now that we've noticed these errors with sale price, and these are errors that are being noticed now and not at the time of sale. When you were calculating your fees, you still did not realize the errors for these properties?
The amounts. I don't know whether there's an updated one when we are calculating the fees.
Should there be an updated one? I mean,
weren't
you deducting your fees as you were going per property, or
no,
were you
not per property?
Okay, how were you doing that?
Usually what will happen is we will just do a rough calculation and then deduct the amount. But
rough calculation?
Yeah, not a specific amount.
What do you mean by a rough calculation? Is it like, do you go for like perhaps a 6-month period, or at the end of the year, and then you make these calculations?
It was periodical, but also we are not also taking everything out, all the fees out at the same time.
Why was that?
Well, sometimes we would leave the fees there. I think we are much more concentrating on trying to do the job. So the fees was not as if anytime we make the sale, we withdraw the fees. No.
I understand how tedious it would be to deduct the fees after every sale. It's quite a number of properties, isn't it? But then, if there was a specific, if the fees were being deducted at a specific period, perhaps quarterly or every 2 months, every 6 months, these errors that we're noticing now, years later, would have been noticed earlier, wouldn't they?
Yes, you are correct.
Because now I'm thinking, if the amount is less than what is stated here, because definitely now, when we first discussed the 2 properties at 78A and B at Hagan, before we even got to Leman, we noticed that therefore the 94 at the summary was definitely not going to be correct.
Yes.
Right? It looks like that will the figure would go down more now.
Yes, but the fees were not collected at that time.
I know.
Yes.
I'm getting at something here. The fees were not collected at that time, but it seems like even I think you did the calculations again. You said and it was 80 something.
88.
88, meaning about 6 million left.
Yes.
Now, with these two properties at Leman, it looks like we would have to go down a little bit more.
No, it's supposed to be higher because it's 10.5 instead of 15.
Yes.
So we need to find. We need to find.
But remember, there's the other one as well. Number 64.
Yeah, 60,
So we're not even certain whether this 10.5 is.
yeah, until we see the deed of governance.
All right. So now my issue here is as the fees were being deducted, perhaps more was deducted than should have been.
You know, in the first year, actually, less was deducted.
Less was deducted. These accounts, they were or this particular bank account was subject to an audit.
It's still subject to an audit.
It's still subject, but when was the first audit done on this account?
They were doing it together with the other assets.
Please bring the mic closer to you, or
They were doing it together with other assets. So they would call us to the office of the AG, and then they will raise queries.
AG as in Attorney General, or AG as in Auditor General?
Attorney General, but the Auditor General will come there and then they will identify queries and then will answer. What I haven't seen whereby they've said that at the moment they'll tell me that they are doing 2023, but I haven't seen a complete audit for 2019 or because they are auditing the Janneh account at the central bank and looking at payments into that account. So really, I guess maybe if you ask the auditors how far they have gone in auditing the receiver, probably they'll give you a more comprehensive answer. But as at now, they tell me that they're auditing 2023.
So at all times you met with the Auditor General or his team, the Attorney General would be present.
His team would. We always meet at the AG's office.
AG chamber.
Yeah, but recently we meet with the auditors in their office.
Okay.
Because we found that there was always loss in translation if a third party. So we would answer their queries directly and explain. I mean, sometimes they find it difficult in terms of, there is a particular payment in the bank statement and they wouldn't be able to trace what asset was it relating it to. So we are trying to facilitate their work by, giving them detailed explanation.
Okay. We will revisit the issue of audit later on. This was just a question that just came to my mind, and I thought let's discuss it quickly before we continue to the other properties in Banjul. Now, what I want you to provide for the committee, and I think it will help with this audit issue. By the time we get to the audit issue, is if we can have a list of properties sold in 2019. The sales started for landed properties in 2019, correct?
In 2019, yes.
Yes. So if you can have the number of properties that were sold in 2019, number of properties sold in 2020, number of properties sold in...
So per year?
Per year, yes. And this, correct me if I'm wrong, did you complete phase 1 totally before phase 2 began?
No.
Exactly. So all these phases were running at the same time.
Yeah, because for example, like we do phase 1 and we couldn't sell
Everything.
everything. So the ones that we couldn't sell, we'll still leave it on the website, and then we continue advertising phase 2.
Phase 2, exactly.
Yeah.
So this is, now that's what I want you to provide. The property is sold in 2019 and the property is sold in 2020. And for every year, just a list of the properties. So we know. Please take note of that so that we can go to another property. Are you
Yes,
done?
I've taken note
Okay.
of it.
Let's take a look at number 26 Buckle Street.
Yes, I'm there.
Okay. Number 26 Buckle Street, it shows it was bought by Manex Limited, individual being Narendra Rajwani. So, was it bought by this individual or the company? Or was it bought by both? Which name was in the deed of conveyance?
I cannot, I am not sure, but I can find out.
Please do. If it was bought by these two persons or it was just bought by one of them.
It's, I think the name, there's, I think he used his name and the name of his company. It's the same person.
Yes, but
Manex. So you want to know exactly what name is in the title deed?
yes, please. Because if it's a company, there would be other shareholders, or at least one more shareholder.
Okay, we'll get the name on the conveyance document.
And the report here, which you've submitted, shows that the reserve price is 5 million, and it was sold for 18 million. But actually, so should we go by the analysis?
Yes, the analysis corresponds with the.
Perhaps this report that I have here, I should not be looking at it again. There seems to be so many errors.
We will update it.
Yes, please. And update it and also update the summary, especially the one that contains the price for the sale, because we cannot really say now that the total price of this 94 million is not accurate, and this report was prepared as at May 2025, submitted to the Attorney General. So we can say that after the citizens' concerns were aired and the Attorney General did not have the right information to update the government and the public. If the Attorney General is supposed to rely on this report to update the National Assembly, Cabinet, and the general public, then the information he would be giving is false.
I would say not complete.
Is it?
You know,
It looks like a complete report to me.
You know, if you say
the figures
false,
are just false.
if you say false, it's as if it is deliberate.
I mean, even if it deliberate or not, the figures are not correct. If they're not correct, they are false.
Yeah, but if you use false, as I said, I mean, it's not deliberate. If you are looking at, for example, the reserve price of 5 million, we put in 5 million there in the final report, but it is 17 million. So the reserve price it's not as it's not affecting the actual price that was paid.
Is it?
Yeah, the actual price that was paid was 18 million.
Are we certain about this?
The actual price. That's what is reported.
I mean, there's so many errors in the report. But let me just let the committee come in here.
Yes, Chair. Council, I just want you to guide me because for me, looking at the discrepancies and also giving him an opportunity to correct them, will that not also hinder our work in terms of getting the fact right? Because for me, for the fact that Alpha Capital has submitted these documents to the state, and it also looks like this is the very documents that the government rely on and any other institution to actually reflect on this very issue in hand. So for me, I think we just have to accept the document as it is and continue on our probing and, continue to flag anything that we think is inconsistent. Thank you.
Definitely, Honorable. We would have to take the document as it is. Whatever else he submits, the committee would note that it's a supplement to this report, and the discrepancies will still have to be highlighted. And that is why I'm asking, I was asking him whether we can really rely on the figures here. But we will keep on going through this table. Hopefully, the rest of the report does not also have such errors, and this is only for phase 1. So, Mr. Barry, we will move on from Buckle. We're going back to Hagan. Again, number 3. I would still have a question, put a question mark at Buckle. So far, it looks like we've so far discussed 7 properties, and it seems like the figures for only one of the properties are very accurate. But let's go to number 3, Hagan Street.
Yes, Councillor.
Looks like the reserve price there was 5 million, sold for 5 million. And it was sold to Mr. Mahadi Toure. Bids we received for this property.
We received one from IGI, Gamstar.
Okay.
We received from Mahadi Toure. We received from Mahadi Toure again by email. And we received from Maka Enterprise. Yeah, those were the bidders.
What was Mr. Mahadi Toure's bid? How much did he bid?
He bid 3.75.
How much was it sold for?
5 million.
Is it? He initially bid for 3.75 million and eventually paid
5 million.
How did that come about?
Well, I guess he was told that he didn't succeed, and he was allowed to buy it at the reserve price. Subsequently, he was the highest bidder, but it didn't reach the reserve price. So
Did Mr. Ture submit his bid around the period it was advertised, or was this later?
He said he did submit it during before the deadline.
Okay.
So that's why it is registered here. So he submitted by email and he submitted physical copy.
We would have to see definitely the conveyancing for this document. The deed?
Who is there? You want to know the
No,
person?
not who is there, but the price.
Or the price?
Yeah.
Okay.
I mean,
For number 3.
according to the report,
Yeah.
we cannot rely on the report, can we? The report says 5 million. The highest bid was submitted was 3.75. So, according to our own analysis, this property was sold below the reserve price.
Below the reserve price.
I mean,
Okay.
from what we have, if we're going by what we have, but then if we look at the report, it's a different figure entirely. So.
Okay, so we'll look at the conveyancing.
We need to conclude that. When you're done, we can move on to the next property.
Yeah, I've noted it down.
Okay. The next property is again Hagan Jangula nightclub, number 60 Daniel Goddard Street. Actually, sorry, that's a mistake on my part. It says Jangula nightclub, reserve price 1 million, sold to Mohammed Jah at the price of 1.6 million.
Yes.
So $10,000 below the reserve price.
Yeah, it was a property that was very difficult to sell.
Why was it difficult to sell?
I guess because of the location, and it was on the website for a very long time. And I believe, 10,000. It's not give and take, 5% of the reserve price. It's reasonable. That we believe that it was a reasonable offer.
So you're saying that the location is what contributed to the difficulty in selling this particular property?
Yes, and the difference is really not significant. And you can notice that where we have properties and offer is significantly different from the reserve price, we did not accept. Well, as I said, it was advertised severally, and it was on the website for quite a long time. So probably even if you look at the date that he purchased it, probably it's a few years, well, a couple of months after we concluded the Banjul sales. I remember it's one of the properties that we had difficulty to sell. And I guess he only bought it because he needed it for his cell phone towers. Otherwise, I believe it would have still been unsold.
The property is located in Cape Point, right? Around
Maybe
the
that's
old
why.
Cape Road Road.
No. Jangdula is, you know Watna Beach? You know Watna Beach Hotel?
No.
You know the prisons?
Yeah.
Okay. So on the other side, opposite the prisons, but going towards the combos.
Okay.
So it's that cluster. And Watna Beach is just after. Watna Beach Hotel is just after that.
Initially, it looks like there was no guide price for this property. Was it?
No, but you just mentioned 1.61.
I mean, where did you get that? Because according to the commission's report, there's no guide price. The purchase price that was noted, because initially you said the first phase of sales relied on the commission's own valuation, but this is a property the commission had marked to be valued. The report shows there's a guide price of 1.6 million. So how did you come up with this guide price, or did you receive this guide price from the ministry?
I cannot say, but I can find out. But if it is not on if it is not on the commission's report, I don't know how we came up with the amount.
With the amount.
But really, so you have the commission reports in front of you.
Yes.
Okay. Anyway, we'll find out where we got the guide price from.
Okay, please do.
Whether we did our own valuation, I'll find out.
Okay. And if there was a valuation done by the receiver and a report was produced, please, you can just submit the report. It would be easier that way. If you're done with taking note of that, we can move on to the next property.
Yes, please, you can.
You are?
Yes.
Next property is number 60 Hagan Street. It's quite the number of properties at Hagan. Sold to Mr. Mahadi Toure. There was a guide price of $2 million and sold for $6.2 million. How many people bid for this property, Mr. Barry?
It was 3 of them.
Okay. And then?
So one bid at 2.75, another bid at 2 million, and 6.2 million.
So all bids were received at the same time for this?
Yeah, once it is in the analysis sheet, it means that it was
Received at the same
time.
Okay. Then we can move on to the next property, which is also bought by Mr. Mahadi Toure, number 61 Daniel Goddard Street, Hagan. Reserve price being 2.25 million, sold for 2.55 million.
61.
Yes, number 61.
You want to know the number of bidders?
Yes.
There were 5 bidders.
Okay. Who were they?
IGI Gamstar,
Mm-hmm.
Mahadi Toure.
Okay.
Mahadi Toure also by email. Maka Enterprise. Fanta Toure. Yeah.
Quantitative for how much?
2.75.
How much was this property sold for?
In this report here, it is saying 2.25. But if I look at the analysis here, the analysis I have is saying the highest bidder is Mahadi Toure at 5.1.
Yes. So there's a difference.
There's a discrepancy, yes.
Another question mark.
Yeah.
And for number 60, the reserve price was 2 million. It was sold for 6.2.
Yes,
Okay, that one's correct.
that's correct. That is
It's
according to the analysis.
correct from
and the
both
summary.
the analysis and the report.
Sorry, 1 minute. Honorable wanted to interject.
Council, I just want to understand. In answering those question marks, what are we expecting from Mr. Barry?
Okay.
Is it for him to come and tell us that instead of the 2.25, it was actually sold at 5.1? Or do we need a proof
We
of
need
the
proof.
5.1?
We need proof.
Yes,
That is why we're requesting for the conveyancing date.
I think that needs to be clear.
The agreements, final agreements, we need that. We need to confirm, because as it is, the conflicting reports that the witnesses submitted is not something that the committee can make a proper conclusion on.
Then I would,
Even though in the committee's analysis, this will still be reflected, but we would also need to see the final agreement given to the client that bought, or the individual that bought these properties.
okay.
Yeah.
Then in that case, why not, when you are ready, you go through those discrepancies one by one?
Yes, that's why I put a question mark next to each property, and then
Ask him exactly what he needs to bring. as
yes,
a proof.
exactly what he needs to bring. But we're also working on a written order so that the witness would not miss anything, and we would highlight that all properties sold, the agreements that were signed with these clients, and the final deed that was prepared for these properties be submitted as well.
Okay, because why I'm interested in this one is, this is sold. Obviously, the successful bidder will have to make payment.
Yes.
The proof of payment by the successful bidder should be part of the documentation
Very
that needs
well.
to be submitted. Okay? Because in that proof of payment, Council,
Yes.
in that proof of payment, you would know the actual amount
That was paid.
that was paid.
Yes.
Where that is not possible or not provided, then the committee will satisfy herself with what is provided
In
on
the report.
Hmm?
Yes.
Okay.
Thank you.
Yeah.
We can now go to the number 11 on the report. Number 2, Fitzgerald Street.
Yes, I'm there.
Okay. Reserve price 3.75 million, sold for 4 million to MK stores. And just like the previous other company that bought property, this one also shows that there's another individual, Nan Nankishore Rajwani. So we also need to see the deed for this one to know who exactly bought. Was it the company or was it the individual that bought this property? Or was it, did they buy the property together? How many bids were received for this one?
There was one from Nando and Palinpunta Enterprise.
Mm-hmm.
He submitted 2 bids, one for 3 million, one for 3.6.
The same company.
He submitted 3 bids, 3 million, 3.6, and 3.8.
Were these bids submitted at the same time or?
It was same time, yes. And then Bridget Mendy, 3.386. Marker Enterprise, 3 million. Those were the ones that submitted bids.
And Nanki Shaw also submitted a bid.
Yes, he submitted for 4 million.
Was it around the same time the other bids were received?
When with this analysis, it means that it was submitted before the deadline.
Okay.
Yeah, because this is the analysis that would have been sent to the Solicitor General.
Okay. Well, wouldn't the bids be opened with the Solicitor General present?
Yes, present, but then
Okay.
we will now do an analysis
And then send that
and
as
send
well.
it to him. Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Let's go to number 72 Gloucester Street. It's a property bought by Futa Enterprise. It had a reserve price of 7.5 million and it was bought or sold for $12 million. There were 5 bids received for this property, correct?
There's one from Alassana Jallo at 9, Omudu Kolka Jallo at 9.5, Muhammadu Mukhtar Jallo at 8.5. Marker Enterprise at 4.5, and Futa Enterprise at 12. Those were the bidders.
Marker Enterprise seems to be bidding for every property, but somehow does not win any bid.
I suspect that he was really speculating.
I mean, but the website had the guide price.
Yeah, I guess he just decided to, because he actually submitted for every bid except for Jangdula.
Yes. That's interesting. All right, and then we have 18A Pichin Street.
Okay.
A property bought by Mr. Seringai for 1.55 million. And the reserve price was 1.36 million.
Yes.
That's quite cheap compared to the other properties around that area.
I suspect it's a very tiny piece of land.
Okay.
I think it's a triangle, and you can hardly do much about it.
Okay.
But the guide price is there, so it's at that price for a reason. Honorable, it's very close to.
Don't worry, I was about to apply for the break. But from the look of things, you only have 2 more properties to go for Banjul, so perhaps we close Banjul and then.
Let's do that.
So the next property in Banjul is also located in Bicton. It is number 13 15th Street, also bought by a syringe guy. For reserve price 3.5. It was sold for 3.6, 100,000 difference. How many bids we received for that property?
Number 1315.
Yes.
Well, our famous friend, Maka Enterprise, submitted 400,000.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Only one. So Guide Enterprise bought it afterwards.
So we can say Guy's proposal or bid was done after the deadline had elapsed.
Yes, and the evaluation was done, and there was no successful buyer. So it must have been still available on the website.
Okay. And then the last property in Banjul is 57A Daniel Goddard Street. Hagan again. Reserve price 1 million. Sold for 1 million to GPA. GPA here would be the Gambia Ports Authority. Am I correct?
Correct, yeah.
How many bids were received for that property?
Number 57.
Yes, 57A Hagan Street.
What I have on the analysis
Mm-hmm.
is IGI Insurance, Maka Enterprise,
Yes.
Panteture, but I suspect that there was an issue with that particular property because it's at near the port. So and I know that the ports were, how do you call it, expropriating land. So probably I believe that's why it was offered to them. But I would need to go and look at the records.
Yes. There seems to be a third bid as well from our friend Maka
Yes,
Consulting.
yes, I did mention it.
Okay, so 3 bids: IGI, Fantature, and Maka Consulting.
Yeah.
Okay. And the highest bids were it's a tie between Fantature and IGI Gamstar,
Yes.
but somehow sold later on to GPA at
2 million.
the government was selling land to a government agency
Well, that you need to
through a third party.
you need to discuss that with the office of the AG for them to explain that.
We will. It's a very interesting. In all these this sale that was being conducted, there are fees to be paid after the sale, right? I'm not talking about legal fees, the taxes. That was stamp duty to be paid by the purchaser.
Yes.
Okay. And then, of course, capital gains tax would have to be paid.
No, okay, because it's government. Then the government will be paying itself. It's something that was discussed, And then, yeah, government doesn't tax itself.
Well, government doesn't tax itself, but government was selling land to itself.
Anyway, I cannot
So
have that discussion with you. I mean, I know that capital gains tax was not
you were not asked as a receiver to pay
Capital
to forward capital gains tax to GRA
no,
at no point in time
no.
in any of the sales.
Yes, and it's government that will approve and issue with the title, and usually they will not issue the title if you haven't paid capital gains tax and stamp duty. But if they have gone ahead and issued the title,
Okay.
it means that they accept that.
Right. And in this instance, do you know whether GPA paid stamp duty?
Otherwise, it wouldn't be registered.
I mean, it's still government
Well,
selling land to itself.
I
If
don't know whether
government is waiving capital gains tax for itself, perhaps it should waive stamp duty for itself. No?
No, I doubt it. With public enterprises, they are treated as a separate entity from government.
They're still part of the government.
Yeah, but if they buy assets, they do. If they sell assets, they pay capital gains.
All right. Honorable Chair,
Just quickly before you,
I'm actually done with the properties in Banjul.
Banjul.
So before we move on to phase 2, I think this is a convenient time.
okay, but before we get a break, I just wanted to ask him two questions.
Yes, please.
Yes, quickly, Mr. Barry. You know, I was asking you about the website.
Yes.
And when I asked you about the properties that you mistakenly inputted in the website, you said we cannot find that in the website again.
Usually, we would withdraw it after selling
So how about the properties currently on the website?
because they are available.
They are available?
Yeah.
They are not sold? They are not sold at all.
No.
How about the gold refinery? That is
It's not still not sold.
still not sold.
We've had several inquiries, but
So you mean the properties still on the website are not sold? Is that your conclusion?
I can just double check. But usually we would
But you are the
withdraw.
receiver. Mr. Barry, you are the receiver. You should be able to know that.
But that's not been activity for the past 2 years.
Yeah, but
In fact, we had closed this website after we just
how?
react-
Then yeah, you open it again
yeah, we reactivated it.
because of the inquiry, or
No, there were no activities.
you manage a lot of properties, and currently we are seeing only few properties on the website, and you said they are not sold. But I mean, I have a record that these properties are sold.
Okay, I can go through it quickly. I've told you now the gold refinery was not sold.
No, I just want to confirm
I,
that those properties that you sold, and you said we cannot find them in the website
yeah,
anymore because they have been sold.
yes,
That's what I wanted to confirm. Now you have properties on the website that are already also sold, but they are still there. So we cannot see the other properties that you have sold. That is the concern for me. And I think all the properties that you have sold, for transparency, they should have been part of the website and labeled as sold for a day like today.
no,
So
we
that
can.
people can confirm that, okay, this was the property. Because of that mistake you talk about, and that's the reason why I'm bringing this matter. Because that amount is significant for you to make an error.
Honorable, most of the properties I'm seeing here are not sold. I know the Yarambamba properties are not sold. They were sold, but the bidder withdrew. Yeah, he withdrew. Bakau, I don't think it is sold. But when we come back, I'll give you definitive answer. But most of the properties I'm seeing here are not sold.
Yeah, but from the records we have, it's anyway. When I come also, I will confirm that. But I know the properties we are talking about that are left in the website are sold.
Yeah.
From the records. Because you said you closed that website. Now, how do you close the website when you still have properties that have not been sold?
There were no activities because we were waiting for government to approve phase 4. So these were advertised before and nobody bought them.
So these properties were not in any of the phase?
No, they were, but nobody offered to buy them.
Up till now?
Up till now.
Okay, we'll confirm that. We'll confirm that. Philip, you want to?
Mr. Barry, with regards to the website, you said it was closed. When was it reopened again?
If you give me 1 second, I can tell you.
Okay.
Uh, 13th of May.
It was reopened on the 13th of May.
Yeah.
What triggered it?
What triggered it was people were saying that they couldn't get access to it. But we had suspended it because we were just incurring costs unnecessarily.
Of which year?
When it was closed.
Reopened
2025.
this year.
Yes.
Thank you.
All right. Thank you, Mr. Barry. This is a convenient time for us to close for today. Is because of the Juma. So, but we will have to release you for today, and then we'll summon you again. Maybe after today, maybe next week. We will definitely have you again because we are still not done with you. We still have a lot more to complete. Okay, so we'll close for today, and then they will send you another letter for the next available setup. Huh? Thank you. So, till
Yes,
tomorrow.
yes, Honorable Chair.
Until Monday.
Monday, 11 a.m.
Thank you.
Honorable Chair, just before we leave, there's an order for the request made by Honorable Fofana. Yes, just an order that the Secretariat would give the witness before he leaves so that he can provide the document.
That's fine.
All right, thank you.
There were clarifications that Honorable Fofana wanted yesterday. I don't know, do we do it now or do we do it on the subsequent date?
I think on a subsequent date, because he wouldn't want you to, or you wouldn't want to miss Juma.
Yeah, I'm sure you also don't want to miss Juma.
Yes, we don't want to. It's almost to 2. We can do it on the next scheduled date.